this is the last project I worked on as a bricklayer, aside from a couple little things I did when I was in Amarillo after I left Angleton. This fence is about a mile long. We measured it when we bricked it. We did this job in 1986. A lot of people worked on it. A lot of people that aren't with us anymore. Paul and Frank and Posey, they're all gone. This was a big deal for me to come out here today. I already did one little clip and got a little emotional, so I'm trying not to get that way this time. But anyway, it's in Cedar Hill, Texas. We started this job. It took us about 5 months to do it because of weather. We had a lot of rain, a lot of wind. There were days that were so windy we couldn't even work just because of wind. But I'm going to walk the whole fence, pretty much the whole fence. I've already taken some video of the front. They ended up not doing what they wanted to do, what they planned to do with the inside of this beyond the fence. It was supposed to have been a bunch of warehouses, and they were going to have a railroad go through there, and I don't know exactly what was going to go on, but I know they scrapped the whole idea there, and now it's kind of like a little industrial park. I'll take some video of what's going on in there. All that was there when we bricked it in '86 was coyotes. You could drive out there and there was nothing but coyotes out there. But anyway, here's a little glimpse looking down the fence. It's a pretty long fence. It was a pretty neat job. I guess the most number of brick I've ever worked on in one individual project, for sure. And it was really fascinating, or fun, I should say. Down at the end of it, when we were just about done, Posey and we decided to have a race to see who was going to lay the last brick. And we ended up both laying the last brick at the same time. And it was really something I'll never forget. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't think that this is a big project, but for us this was really big. I've looked the whole fence over already, and there's really not a lot of lost brick. I mean, I'm looking at it right here and I see some mortar that's, oh no, it's not coming out. It's just, well, a little bit. Chip brick there. I could go on the inside of the fence if I could get in there and show you specific brick that I laid myself. But I can guarantee you, as I'm walking down this fence, you'll see tons of them. Thousands of brick that I actually laid myself. Here's an example where we have a little bit of failure down at the bottom. We were having that trouble when we first started laying the brick. We were having trouble with some of the brick coming off. Coming on down here, we'll probably come to a section where I remember the wind blew one of the sections down. Anyway, this is the last real job I worked on as a bricklayer. But I'm gonna walk the whole fence. I wanted to make a comment about actually being able to find this road. I couldn't remember the name of the road, of course. I mean, it was 28 years ago. But I did remember what the road looked like. And so I went on MapQuest first, and I couldn't find it on MapQuest. I mean, 28 years, the place is going to change a lot. There's going to be a lot of roads that are added and so on and so on. So I went on Google Earth, and I was about ready to give up on it. I looked all over Cedar Hill on Google Earth, and I couldn't find this place. And finally I said, well, I looked at those Highline towers. If you see them there, not Highline towers, radio towers. And I remembered back when we did this, which direction they were from the fence, basically. And I said, well, let me look down this way. And finally, I zoomed in on ground or street level, and there it was. The fence is still here. And I do see a lot of failure down at the bottom, though. But it's a pretty good project. I would say I'm proud. I don't like to use the word pride or proud, but I'm glad I was part of it. I was really glad I was part of it. Here we got some damage to the wall. This is probably the section that, from what I can remember, that's probably the section right there that blew down on us. It fell down and we had to re-brick it right here. Yeah. But for the most part, we did a pretty good job. I mean, it's still here. 28 years later. I will say something. It's funny how your memory can play, I guess you could say, tricks on you. You remember things differently than they really were. Across the street here, this is not, well, I mean, I know it's changed, but it's not the way I remembered it at all. I remembered there was a street that we could cut through, and it went right into a residential area. But that's the way I remembered it. But that's not, unfortunately, that was an incorrect. That's not the way it is at all. So it's part of what made it difficult for me to find it on MapQuest and on Google, even on Google Earth. If it weren't for remembering the location of those radio towers, I would have never. This video wouldn't be made, because I wasn't going to drive out here trying to, going down street by street trying to find this place. This is where we got our water to make all of our mud and take our baths from a fire hydrant. There's actually, I think we took it from more than one. There's one way down there. You probably can't see it in the video. And there's also one way down there at the corner. Oh, yeah, actually, you can probably see it. Right. See it there? Yeah. Anyway, that's where we got our water from. So anyway, everybody that was involved in this, building this fence was Paul and Frank, Posey, Tony Wright, Little Billy, John Newby. I believe Guyman worked on this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yep. Guyman did work on this road, and Nathan. Those are the only ones that's everybody I can remember. I don't remember anybody else. But that's still quite a few people. We stayed in a little, what do you call it? Job site trailer inside the fence there, not basically right in there. It was kind of crazy. We'd take a bath in our water barrel and build a fire underneath it to get the water warm, and bathe in it. And nope, I take that back. Earlier I made a comment about a section that fell down. This was the section that fell down right here. I remember because it was the only part that was up above the ground like that. Anyway, we would go to a hotel about once a week so everybody could take a decent bath and sleep in a bed instead of having to sleep on the floor in that trailer. But it was, we did what we did, had to make some money. Paul and Frank being the way they were about financing the job. Anyway, I'm getting down to the end. little bit. And once I get there, I'll show you the last bricks that were laid. It was really interesting. That, by the way, that radio tower there, that was not there back then. Oh, of course, I could go on and on about what wasn't here in Cedar Hill. And I'm not even familiar with this town, but just driving around, just a little bit that I have, it's amazing how much has changed. You know, I did want to talk about, well, this sucks. Let me turn around so the sun will be in my face. I did want to talk about the fact that there's so many people that are gone, that are dead, since we built this. It's unbelievable. It's, you know, Paul and Frank are both gone, and Posey's gone. 3 of the people, they died early, you know. They died young. I mean, Paul would be 65 if he was still alive, and Frankie died this year. And I don't remember when Posey died. He died a few years back, but you know, they all died young, and it's just crazy to see this fence that's only 28 years old, and the guys who built it were pretty young when they did it, and they're all gone. You know, it's too bad. You know, but there's a lot of us that are still alive, and hopefully some, you know, John Newby, and I don't know how Nathan will ever get to see this due to the fact that I don't see him being a free man, but and maybe Guyman, maybe Little Billy will get to see this video, but it'll bring back some memories for him for sure. Tell you a funny story that happened while we were bricking this house. I keep saying house. While we were bricking this fence, somebody came up with a brilliant idea of burning a tire, you know, like a car tire, and it was making all this black smoke. And a cop comes up. You know, we were inside the fence there, and a cop pulls up. I was asleep. I'd fallen asleep inside the truck, the work truck, and I actually locked the doors so people would leave me alone. And a cop came up and asked us what was the deal with the fire, or asked them, didn't ask me. Hold on, what's up here? Check this out. Wow. Just seen a frog jump down. Anyway, a cop comes up and he asked everybody for their idea except me. They didn't even wake me up. I didn't even know what was going on. I was asleep. And Paul had gotten a ticket for having a farm tag on his truck, and it was a work truck. It wasn't a farm truck. And so he never paid that ticket. So the cop ran his ID and took him to jail for not paying this ticket. And then the guys woke me up, Nathan and them woke me up, and they said, "Hey, we got to go get Paul out of jail." And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then they told me the story, and I just started laughing. I said, "Yeah." I said, "You should have paid that ticket." You know, and Paul was like, "Screw it, I'm not going to pay that ticket." You know, well, I ended up catching up with him later. He got hauled to jail, and it's all because somebody decided to come up with the brilliant idea of burning a tire. Anyway, I thought it was a pretty funny story. It was funny when it happened. It's even funny telling the story today. You know, I travel a lot on work. I go all over the place, and I have to spend a lot of time away from home, which really sucks. I mean, it really does. But there are pros and cons. You know, I mean, I tell people all the time that, you know, I travel. I go all over the place, but I get to see a lot of friends and family. I get to see, you know, places I'd never see if I didn't travel. And this is an example. This is a perfect example. I'm down here doing some work for Office Depot in Dallas, well, Grand Prairie, and I got to come and see this fence. And I would have never got to come and see this fence, you know. And I'm so glad that I did. I mean, I can't even express it. I got to go to Angleton not too long ago. That was great. It would have been even greater if my sister Lisa wasn't so out there. But anyway, I'm really glad I got to come out here. And like I said before, if it wasn't for traveling on work, I wouldn't be here. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the fence. And I'm going to show you the last 2 bricks that were laid. And they were laid at the same time. And one of them was laid by Posey. That would be that brick right there. And one of them was laid by me. And that would be that brick right there. Pretty wild, pretty crazy. Of course, this chain link fence wasn't here. None of that stuff was inside here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed making it. I really enjoyed coming out here, seeing this place. I mean, it's amazing, you know, to get to revisit a place after 28 years.